Daf Yomi, Menachot 103. A, top of the page with the words Ella, Shikavan Bishas Neder, Aval Bishas Hafrosha Lo. Only when he assigned it at the time of the vow. But if at the time of the vow he simply said, it is incumbent upon me to bring a meal offering, and at the time of the designation of the fine flour as a meal offering, he specified a particular type of meal offering, he is not obligated to bring that type, and if he brought a different type, he has still fulfilled his obligation. The reason for this is that the Torah states, that which has emerged from your lips you shall observe and do, according to what you have vowed freely to the Lord your God, even that which you have promised with your mouth. Deuteronomy 23:24, since it states, according to what you have vowed, and not according to what you have designated to fulfill your vow, only matters specified as part of the vow are essential to its content. Itmanami. Rabbi Chanina, Rabbi Asi, Rabbi Yochanan, Lo Yishanu Lo Shekavu B'Shas Neder, Al B'Shas Hafrosh Lo Kasher Nedarta V'Lo Kasher Hafrashto. It was stated that Rabbi Acha bar Chanina says, that Rabbi Asi says, that Rabbi Yochanan says, the Tanaim taught in the Mishnah that meal offerings are not valid only when he established their type at the time of the vow and subsequently brought a different type of meal offering. But if he had mentioned one type of meal offering at the time of the designation of the flour, and then brought it differently, it is not valid, as the Torah states, according to what you have vowed and not according to what you have designated for your vow. Okay, it's the end of the Talmud. Now, new Mishnah. Zog the Mishnah, Omer ha'elai mincha min ha'seoirim, yovi min ha'chitim kemach, yovi soiles, beloi shemen, uveloi levoino, yovi shemen levoino. The Mishnah says, one who says, it is incumbent upon me to bring a meal offering from barley, should bring the meal offering from wheat, as voluntary meal offerings are brought exclusively from wheat. One who says, it is incumbent upon me to bring a meal offering from flour, should bring the meal offering from fine flour. As it is written, his offering shall be of fine flour, Leviticus 2:1. If one vows to bring a meal offering without oil and without frankincense, he should bring it with oil and frankincense, as voluntary meal offerings require oil and frankincense. My question is, he's saying the incorrect thing. I don't understand why the Mishnah says he should correct his words and say, I'm sorry, I made the wrong statement. Why is it just saying he should bring the right thing even though he said the wrong thing? Of course he should bring the right thing, but he should say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, and then commit to bring the right thing. It's just a thought. Anyway, it's a question. Achatzi saron yavi saron, shalem misaron mechza yavi shnayim. Rab Shimon poter shelo yitnadev keder mitnavin. If one vows to bring a meal offering, half a tenth of an ephah, he should bring a complete tenth of an ephah, the minimum measure of a voluntary meal offering. If one vows to bring a meal offering of a tenth and a half an ephah, he should bring 2 tenths, as there are no partial tenths of an ephah brought in meal offerings. Rabbi Shimon deems one exempt from bringing a meal offering in all these cases. This is because the vow does not take effect, as he did not pledge in the manner of those who pledge. And now for the Talmud. Amai nedel bitroi mohu. The Gemara asks, why is the vow to bring a meal offering from barley valid? it is seemingly a case of a vow and its extenuation together. It's kind of like what I was asking before. The statement, it is incumbent upon me to bring a meal offering, is a valid vow, while the next term, from barley, constitutes a retraction, as the speaker knows that a meal offering may not be brought from barley. Unless it's the Omer offering. I think the Omer is brought from barley, right? Amar Chizkiya Hamani Beishamai. Diamri Tfos Lashon Rishon. Titsnan Reini Nozu. Menagoy Gois Menadevila. Beishamai Amen Nozer Hill in Nozil. Chizkiya said, in accordance with whose opinion is this Mishnah? Is it in accordance with the opinion of Beit Shammai, who say, in the case of one who stated a declaration comprising two contradictory terms, attend only to the first statement, as we learned in the Mishnah in Nozil 9:8. If one says, I'm hereby Nazarite from dried figs and from pressed figs, which is a contradictory statement, why not both? Why can't it be both? It's not contradictory. I'm a Nazarite from dried figs and from pressed figs. It doesn't have to be a contradiction. They say it's a contradiction, but it doesn't have to be. Which is a contradictory statement, as figs are not prohibited to another. Oh, it's not because of that. It's because if you're a Nazarite, it has nothing to do with figs. That's why. I'm a Nazarite from dried figs. It doesn't, as figs are not prohibited to Nazarite. But Beit Shammai say he is a full-fledged Nazarite. As one attends only to the first statement, says, I'm a Nazarite. And maybe the question is, according to Beit Shammai, is he forbidden from dried figs, or is he just forbidden as a regular Nazarite? That's it. Anyway, Beit Shammai says he's a full-fledged Nazarite as one attends only to the first statement. So, I'm a Nazarite. And the second part is discounted, and Beit Hillel say the second part of his statement is not discounted, and therefore he's not a Nazarite, as he did not accept Nazariteship upon himself. Nazariteship has nothing to do with figs. Rabbi Yochanan amar Beit Hillel beomer ilu hayiti yonea she'eino edlen kach lo yisino iter kach ela kach. Rabbi Yochanan said, you may even say that the Mishnah here is in accordance with the opinion of Beit Hillel. It is referring to one who, upon being informed that such a vow is not effective, says, had I known that one cannot vow in this manner to bring barley for a meal offering, I would not have vowed in this manner, but rather in that manner by vowing to bring wheat instead. Amar Chizkiya lo ishanu ela liyama mincha minas oyib amalama mincha minas adoshim lo. The Gemara cites another disagreement between Chizkiya and Rabbi Yochanan about the Mishnah. Chizkiya says that the sages taught in the Mishnah only that where he says, it is incumbent upon me to bring a meal offering from barley, he can bring a meal offering from wheat instead. But if he says, it is incumbent upon me to bring a meal offering from lentils, that vow is not valid. Mechdi, let us see. Chizkiya keman amar shmaite kebeit Shammai. Ubeit Shammai mishum tefos lashon rishon hu mali min hasoyer mali min hadoshim hadarbe. The Gemara asks, now Chizkiya said that his tradition of interpreting the Mishnah is that it is in accordance with whose opinion? It is in accordance with Beit Shammai's opinion. And Beit Shammai's ruling is due to the principle that one should attend only to the first statement. If so, what is the difference to me whether he vowed to bring a meal offering from barley or from lentils? In either case, that principle should require him to bring a meal offering from wheat. Your answer is Chizkiya retracted his initial explanation that the Mishnah is according to Beit Shammai and subscribes to the explanation of Rabbi Yochanan. Umay time hadel be amarav masin gashid mayed tan min khamin soirim lestimina dashi. The Gemara asked him, and what is the reason that he retracted his explanation? Rav said the Mishnah posed a difficulty for him. Why does the Tana specifically teach this halacha using an example of a meal offering from barley? let it teach the halacha using the example of the meal offering from lentils, which is the greater novelty. And I'll know barley automatically. Ela shma mina mishum detayehu b'se'oirim tai b'adashim lo tai. Rather, learn from it that the reason the vow takes effect is because one may err. With regard to barley, it is reasonable that one may err, since one of the individual meal offerings, the meal offering of the sota, comes from barley. With regard to lentils, one would not err in thinking that one may bring a meal offering from them. Therefore, one can presume that by saying lentils, he intended to negate his initial statement. Rabbi Yochanan says, according to the Mishnah, even if he vowed to bring a meal offering from lentils, the vow takes effect. The Gemara asks now, Rabbi Yochanan states that his tradition is interpreting the Mishnah is that it is in accordance with whose opinion? It is in accordance with the opinion of Beit Hillel. And Beit Hillel understand that the reason the meal offering takes effect is because one may reasonably err. One may err with regard to barley being fit for a meal offering, but with regard to lentils, he will not err that they are fit. Why then does Rabbi Yochanan hold that the meal offering takes effect, even if he said lentils? The Gemara answers, Rabbi Yochanan does in fact hold that when he vows to bring a meal offering from lentils, it is not valid. What he said was in response to the statement of Chizkiah. Rabbi Yochanan is saying to him, what is the reason that you retracted your explanation of the Mishnah as being in accordance with the opinion of Beit Shammai? It is because the Mishnah does not teach using the example of one who vowed to bring a meal offering from lentils, which would have been a greater novelty. Dilma lomi boya kama lomi boya minadoshim tiiklamema mehadaru v'dehadalbe udivos lashon rishon ela אפילו מן השעיר נמי דאיקלממה מתאהו דקתאי אפילו הכי תפוס לשון ראשון. Rabbi Yochanan questions this reasoning. Perhaps the Mishnah is speaking utilizing the style of it is not necessary. It is not necessary to say that when one vows to bring a meal offering from lentils, the vow takes effect and he brings a meal offering for wheat. He brings it because one has to reason to say that he in fact intended to vow and then retracted his initial statement, and yet the vow takes effect in accordance with the opinion of Beit Shammai that one should attend only to the initial statement and his retraction is disregarded. But even if he vowed to bring a meal offering from barley, where one has reason to say he made an error, and had he known that a meal offering is not brought from barley, he would not have vowed at all. Nevertheless, the vow takes effect, and he must bring a meal offering due to the principle of attend only to the first statement. Okay? Stop here.